Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Again, didn't expect to make one today. Didn't know that, never know when Farming Simulator is going to post an update, but I have today. And it's going to be talking about parallax occlusion mapping, which for this video we will call POM. So this is all to do with the terrain and the different surfaces in the game and how they're going to be making it look more 3D. So we're going to read through it first and then we'll take a look at the images afterwards. So in FS22, surfaces will appear more realistic and natural thanks to POM we implemented in the Giants Engine 9. POM will make the terrain and other surfaces in the game look more detailed and dynamic if the feature is turned on in the settings. And that's going to be a key point. I'm just going to stop there. If it's turned on in the settings. So obviously this is going to take better hardware, and so they have added a feature to turn it on and off, which is good. That's something that I am already liking, because that means people on any device within reason can now still run the game, which is what we want, really, isn't it? So we're first going to talk about what it is. We'll try to explain it as simple as possible. POM is a technique that boosts the details of a textured surface to give it depth, like the tyre tracks on your field trenching in the ground. They're deeper now. In the first step, POM reduces a geometric complexity of a 3D model, like the gravel on a road or even bricks in a wall, for example. The reduced surface details are transformed into a flat texture. When the model is rendered in the game, the surface details are put in a so-called height map. A height map basically adds a depth to the otherwise flat surface. Imagine the height map as a geographical map with hills and valleys. Different colours mean different depths. As you can see in the height map above, the darker the surface, the deeper it is. Based on this info stored in the image, the surface is then reconstructed in the game, appearing three-dimensional and realistic. And you can see that here, so you can see where you've got the footprints, they are appearing darker in the ground, so that's going to add an element of depth. So essentially we're still going to have the 2D textures, it's just going to look graphically more appealing. Or that's at least what I'm taking from this though. So there are a couple of reasons to use POM in video games like FS22 to achieve this effect. First of all, the result looks very realistic and certainly adds a depth to the surfaces in the game. And they're right, it does add. I said I would look at the pictures at the end, but if we look here, you can see this is without it, just standard 2D farm sim textures, as you'd normally come across. But then on the right, it does look almost 3D, so it's the same 2D texture, but it just has that extra element of depth to it. And that is really quite cool. But then, of course, it's performance friendly. The degree of POM is determined by your hardware and graphical settings. This way, we can improve Farming Simulator further while still keeping it hardware friendly for every gamer out there. If your system can handle it, crank up the settings and you'll get the best possible result. If not, don't worry, you can still play FS22 with lower settings and POM turned off. And again, that is an essential part, so this means that for the people with a more technical system like me, who has a really high-end PC, I can have that cranked all the way up and I'll get the best possible graphics. But then even if you don't have a good PC, you can still do this perfectly fine. Roads, fields, walls and buildings. You'll notice the improved surfaces everywhere when walking around in Elm Creek, Erlingrat, and, well, the third one we'll show you soon. So already, I reckon that's going to be the next article we get, which is pretty cool. We're still working on parallax occlusion mapping, but with those first comparisons, you should get a good sense for what to expect. Please take in mind that the effect not may not be properly reflected in still images compared to live gameplay. And that is essential. These are just images to showcase it. These aren't actually what's going to be in the game. And I'm only going to show you these bottom ones. These ones are effectively just flashing through, but these ones are side by side so you can see it. And you can see again the ground textures, standard 2D, and here with the added depth to it, looking really quite cool. And it does look very realistic, especially in this one. You can see it is just 2D, but here they do tend to just stick out that bit more, tend to have that more shadow to them as well. And again, in this one, these stick out a lot more. So it's essentially still the same 2D texture, but with that added depth and added shadow to it. And that brings up more questions. Are we going to see dynamic dirt? So can your tractor get stuck? Are we going to see a system like SnowRunner? Or is it just going to be the same with this added realism to it? Who knows? So I'm going to end this video here. Hopefully you're all as excited as I am for this game. And I can't wait to see what's to come, especially the new map. Don't forget, subscribe, like the video, join my Discord, comment down below what you think, and I'll see you next time.